The time just before bed can be some of the most relaxing moments you have in a day. Sleep is really important for a healthy life, but sometimes we hear stories so frightening, it makes getting some shut-eye difficult. Today, we found 10 things that go bump in the night that has us keeping our nightlights on. These stories have left so many with a shattered sense of security. We've told you about people who claim to find strangers staring them down in their beds, or even more frightening, watching their children sleep. In one case out of Florida, a burglary suspect was caught on surveillance camera just feet away from two sleeping children. Fortunately, nothing happened to them, but you can imagine the horror of any parent seeing a video like that.
I woke up with a flashlight in my face, so I'm just in my head, I'm like, oh my God. And I'm just thinking, how did this person get into my room?
We talked to a woman who woke up in terror with 7 suspects inside of her home. Still traumatized, she did not want to show her face, but does hope her story catches the men who did this. The video tells it all. She says the men entered through a back window. Then video shows them inside of her house walking around. And watch this, as she's held at gunpoint.
I just told them, just please don't hurt my family. Take whatever you want to take.
She says the crooks tied up her husband and then left her children in terror as they raided around her home. Her son is still scared every day that the men will return.
Being traumatic for my son because I had to take him out of school. He was traumatized.
The Houston mother made a terrifying discovery after she learned that someone had hacked into a webcam in her daughter's bedroom and had been streaming everything online. What's worse, they had no clue until someone who lives 2,000 miles away told them about it.
And tonight, a warning for anyone who has security cameras inside their homes. How do you know if anyone else may be watching? Well, a local family found out their children's bedroom was being live streamed.
I happened to get a text from a friend of mine that said she saw a picture on Facebook and she thought it was the picture of our daughter's room.
And it was. The security cameras in Jennifer's home were hacked, broadcasting everything in her girl's room to the world.
They're in my house. People are watching my kids in their home, dressing, sleeping, playing. It's your parents' worst nightmare.
A woman in Oregon ran across the live stream while looking through the webcam's viewer app for a spot to take her own family on vacation.
Horror. I mean, I'm a mother. I have 2 little kids.
Shelby Ivy told us on the phone that she immediately started looking for the family this bedroom belonged to.
Well, I basically spent my entire Sunday at home sharing it to every single Houston page I could think of. I shared it on multiple news sites. I shared it in a bunch of Houston moms groups, Texas groups. I just wanted to get it out there and hoped that social media would kind of take it from there.
Within hours, the picture made it back to Jennifer.
She pretty much just kind of saved our lives.
She had a security company track the hack. They believe it came from a video game one of her daughters was playing. To play with friends, Jennifer says it asked for their server name.
She ended up looking up on YouTube, servers to play Minecraft, and she ended up getting a name. So she went ahead and, put that in the little thing where it says server name, and it's been playing.
From there, they worked their way into the cameras. She wants the apps that allow this kind of invasion shut down. In the meantime, she's beefing up their security system even more and making a few other changes.
My advice.
If you charge your phone on your bed, you need to think twice before going to sleep. We were stunned to hear about an Alabama man who was electrocuted in his sleep when his charger cord and dog tag met with shocking results.
He said he was sleeping with his cell phone plugged in on his bed. The chain on the dog tag around his neck slipped, he says, between the charger, you see that right there?
Oh, wow,
and
yeah.
the extension cord. Extension cord in his bed.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, bad burns.
We've all heard of the dangers of driving while drowsy. Here's why. Washington police say a sleepy driver closed his eyes while on the road and plowed right into a gas pump, causing a fiery explosion.
Surveillance video from inside the store shows the crash. The driver stayed inside the truck for almost a full minute before finally managing to escape as the pump burned out of control. A few minutes later, gas employees managed to shut off the burning pump and use an extinguisher to get out most of the flames.
Even scarier than sleep driving might be waking up in a place you don't even know. Police in Colorado searched for 2 hours to find a missing teenager who wandered away from home in her sleep. Her family claimed she is a habitual sleepwalker and became frightened when they couldn't find her. Investigators said the 19-year-old teen went to a 7-Eleven and may have ridden the bus all while she was asleep.
The bloodhound tracked her to a 7-Eleven, which is directly next door to the bus stop. And that's where the bloodhound lost the track. So we think there's a distinct possibility she got on that bus.
Taylor, wearing her pajamas and just socks on her feet, had traversed 9 miles from her home.
Did your feet hurt after that? Yeah, they hurt really bad for a while, and my legs too.
When she woke up, she recognized this movie theater, and she knew she was close to her uncle's house.
Were you so thankful that you recognized the area?
Yeah, I wouldn't know what I would have done.
Showing me the stairs to the basement, then the door where she left, it's hard to imagine someone doing this asleep.
Just like that.
The 30-year-old woman was accused of setting a bed on fire while her boyfriend was sleeping in it. Court documents say Ashley Brock waited for him to fall asleep after an argument, doused the mattress with some accelerant, and lit the bed on fire. Her boyfriend's socks were burnt. No word on whether they're still together.
Just after midnight, a man came home from work. He and his girlfriend, 30-year-old Ashley Brock, got into an argument, according to police. Investigators tell us he went to sleep in his bed and woke up to find the bed on fire and his socks were burning as well. Police say Brock was sitting on the couch near the bed, smoking a cigarette and watching the bed burn. Brock left the house, the man called police, and as arson investigators arrived, they spotted Brock walking by the home, according to court documents. Brock was arrested for arson.
The 12-year-old girl in Alvin Independent School District says she was locked on a school bus and left alone after falling asleep on the way home from school.
Lindy Molinar admits falling asleep in the back of the school bus yesterday on the way home from school.
I was really scared, and I didn't really know what to do.
She only woke up after everyone was gone. The bus locked up, parked in the school district's transportation center. She says she began banging on the door and yelling for help.
I was just sitting there crying, and another bus driver came past and noticed.
She says she got out after about 15 minutes.
The school district admitted fault after the girl panicked, yelling and banging on the door for help.
In this instance, we made a mistake, and we readily admit that, and we apologize for that.
An Oregon man fell asleep in the middle of Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and ended up getting locked inside the movie theater after it closed.
I wake up, theater's completely dark. I can't see nothing. I can see the screen and like maybe my hand in front of my face if I waved it.
So that's Justin Haworth. He tried to get out of the theater in the middle of the night after it was closed, but walked in front of a motion detector, setting off the alarm. Well, that's when police showed up. They unlocked the door so he could get out. It appears the movie theater staff forgot to check all of the theaters before they locked up for the night. Uh-oh, busted.
I think he's the first person in America to sleep through that movie, too.
I know, that's what I was thinking, too. That's a good.
We all seen its share of cars smashing through people's homes over the year, but imagine the horror of finding a vehicle on top of your bed. In California, police said an 8-year-old boy smashed into his neighbor's house, landing a car on top of his neighbor's bed. One person was injured, but fortunately no one was in the bed when it happened.
That's actually your bedroom? Yes, that is my bedroom. Where were you in the house when you heard this?
In the living room, coming from the kitchen.
How close is it to your bed?
It's on my bed.
The car?
Yes.
One person wound up being taken to the hospital.
The Tennessee woman awoke to find a 3-foot-long eastern rat snake in her bed. It may be a good idea to triple-check your sheets before turning down for the night.
And I yelled for my daughter downstairs, and I said, "Brianna, I got a snake in my bed." And she said,
She's laughing about it. That's impressive.
Well,
she called 911 to have the snake removed. She says she hasn't slept in her bed since and still has no idea how it got there.
That could be a really good song, though.